So what you did is you went to week 11 in quarter 2, and you guys posted a discussion to the prompts. Okay. And if we go and look, so far, what we have is Kiona, Skylar, Donnell, and Ashley. So all of those people will be getting their points for the webinar. And I really appreciate that. And what we're going to go do is at the very end of the webinar, we're going to go back to that and we're going to do a little bit more and we're going to talk about that. So it's going to be, like I said, really important that you guys respond to that each time. Okay. All right, so let's look at what we're doing. Oh, you did, Jenny? Where did you post?
Well, I went into the schoology thing, like you said.
Oh, I might just need to, I'll refresh at the end.
Okay.
That maybe it's just a refreshing thing. So I might not have refreshed for all of you guys. Sorry if I haven't, but then I'll refresh at the very end. Janae just told me she did in fact post, so good job. Okay. Alrighty then, you guys. So let's look at what we're going to do today. Okay, so our objectives today, we're going to practice finding key points on a graph. It seems like in a lot of the assessments, you guys are kind of struggling with graphs and lines and coming up with equations from graphs. So those are our objectives today, is to go over that. And then we're going to do, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about some important information and some questions that you may have. So the first thing is where to start in quarter 2. So for many of you guys, you are actually going to be starting in quarter 1. Okay, and if you're not sure, let me know. Unit 1 is done and complete. So if you didn't get to the final exam, that impacted your grade and quarter 1 is over. So what we're doing though, in quarter 1, there's still Unit 2A, and I will show you guys that right now. Actually, give me a second. So if we look at materials, so say you guys are going into Schoology and you go to your materials and you see quarter 1 and you see quarter 2. Some of this other stuff you won't see because it's hidden. So for a lot of you guys, you'll want to go ahead and click on quarter 1 even though we're in quarter 2. Notice that unit 1 is hidden. Okay, you can't access that anymore. But you can access unit 2A here, and if I click on that, you can see weeks 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so you'll need to get through weeks 8, 9, and 10. But 10 was our last week in the quarter, so if I click on that, you'll see it's a very short week. There's just one practice is all. The objective of this week, last week, was just to help you guys get caught up and finish the quarter. But some of you guys didn't get here, so you'll really need to get caught up. So you'll need to complete weeks 8, 9, and 10. I would suggest getting weeks 8 and 9 done today, and then 9 and 10 done next week, because the week after that, you will not have a weekly assignment because it's fall break. So what you can do is you can work on that week to just get caught up with anything from the last week. So once you get done with weeks 8, 9, and 10, what you'll do is you'll go to quarter 2, and that's where we are now. Okay, we're in unit 2B, and we're at week 11 right here, which is where you guys clicked in order to get to our webinar, which is right here. Okay, so that is where you would be when you're current. And you'll notice at the end of this week, we do have a mid-unit test for 2A, and there's a mid-unit review with an answer key, review and answer key. So what I want you guys to do is open up the review, not right now, of course, but you're going to open up the review. You're going to do it on your own, and then you're going to submit it, and then you're going to open up the answer key, check to see how you did. That way you can ask questions, and then you're going to take the mid-unit test. So I just want to remind you guys that when you take these summative type assessments, you have to open them and take them all at once. That if you walk away from your computer, you can't restart them. You'll just have to email me and have me reset it for you. But hopefully we can kind of get away from that, and you'll just, when you're ready, open it and take it. It shouldn't be too bad. So we're going to start having summative assessments about every 2 weeks. So they won't be too long. They'll be a little bit shorter, and you should be able to get through those no problem. Okay, so that's where to start. And yep, Ashley, no problem. And Ashley, you do get points now for being in the webinars. So what it is that it's related to advanced, proficient, partially proficient, and unsatisfactory. So if you are posting and you're doing what's asked, you'll either get a proficient or advanced. If you don't post, you don't participate, you'll get an unsatisfactory. or partially proficient in the webinar? So that's a really good question. But I just, my goal is just to get you guys talking to each other, to kind of talk about our math. It will help you to understand it better. And then, yeah, sure, Ashley, after the webinar, I'll help you with Khan Academy. No problem. All right, so you guys, anybody else have any questions at all about the webinar formats for Q2 or where to start? And you can type it in your student pods if you want, or you can type it in the chat if you have a question. Is everyone good? Okay, so how long to get caught up? So I did kind of address that. What you want to do, at the most, people should only be 3 weeks behind, weeks 8, 9, and 10, because Unit 1 is closed to everybody now. So again, you should only take 2 weeks to get caught up, because if you can complete weeks 8 and 9 this week and weeks 10 and 11 next week, you'll basically be caught up, because then you'll have a week with no assignments that you can work on week 12. Okay. Format for all summative assessments, and I did talk about that too, how that works, that you're going to have one now about every 2 weeks, and there'll always be a little review, and you'll have to do it all in one sitting, and it's not resumable. All right, you guys, so we're going to move on to our objectives, unless there's any questions. Anybody have any questions? Raise your hand if you have questions. All right, you guys are all peaceful and quiet. Hopefully that's a good thing. Okay, so let's look at our objectives for today. So we were going to look at key points on a graph. So in your note pods, I want you guys right now to, and if you don't have a note pod, you can just, in the chat, you can be answering the questions, but it looks like Skylar, Kiona, Janae, Tashana, Ashley, and Dustin and Donnell don't have one. So one of you guys can be the student one. I don't know who is student one because there's a J there, but Janae already has hers. Anyway, so in your notepad, go ahead and make a list right now. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Type that in your notepads. Good. Kiona and Ashley are typing. Excellent. And Skylar, very nice job. Very nice job, guys. Awesome. All right. So Dustin or Donnell, how about if I give that first one then to Donnell. Donnell, do you want student one? Nice, very nice. You guys, good job. Okay, Donnell, you're going to be student one, and Dustin, I'm going to give you the chat. How about that? Okay, awesome. So Donnell, go ahead and type 1 through 5, and Tashana, if you can hear me out there, type 1 through 5 in your notepad. Tashana. Actually, you should wave it at Tashana over there. JSBD. Okay, good. Thank you, Donnell. Thank you. That's awesome. So Tashana, no, and then Dustin, I know you can't do it in there. Okay, so what you're going to do is for each of these, so yeah, you guys are actually going to do 1 through 5, and then you're going to do 1 through 5 again. But let's just do the first graph first. So on the first graph, go ahead and write what the y-intercept would be. So put that under number 1. So everybody write what the y-intercept would be under number 1. Oh, good, Tashana, you're typing. That's awesome. So y-intercept, you guys, real quick. Okay, good. Kiona has got hers in. Very nice. Skylar is in the process. Donnell, Ashley, what's the y-intercept? Tashana is typing. Good. And Dustin has got his. Very nice. Very nice. And hopefully I'm not forgetting anybody who's in the notepads. Okay. All right. So Ashley, nice job. We've got one in for you. And Skylar. So Janae and Donnell, what's the y-intercept in the first graph? Just type it in. Okay, and then when you're done with that, now I want you to do for the first graph is write the x-intercept for the first graph. So what is the x-intercept? So you're going to do that in number 2. So Kiona is way on it. Good job. Janae is in the process. Very nice. So x-intercept, guys, for number 2. So again, type that in. Not too much thought. Good, Ashley, you were typing it. Very nice. Skylar is good. So Donnell, I'm not seeing any participation from you. I want to see some participation. Okay. And good, Donnell, good. So make sure you do this. Awesome. Okay. All right, good. And it looks like Kiona is moving on in bright colors. Very nice, beautiful colors. So number 3 is write whether the graph has a negative or positive slope. So that's for the first graph. Is that a negative or is that a positive slope? So which one is it? Okay, so Kiona's good there. She's got something. Ashley's got something. Excellent. And I'm not saying who's right or wrong yet. I just want to see you guys' answers. So Dustin, good. You've got your X and Y. How about your number 3, whether the graph has a negative or positive slope? And then we get a little bit harder, but not too hard. On number 4, if you can find the slope of the blue line, that would be marvelous. So you might have to make that a little bit bigger. If not, you can just kind of roughly estimate it. So good job, you guys. I love your participation. You're doing awesome. Tashana, I'm not seeing anything from you over there. And I can see Tashana. That's good. You have it up now. That's good. So Tashana, everybody's on number 4. Donnell? Okay, Dustin, that's good. You've got 1, 2, and 3. How about number 4? You guys find the slope. So no one has found the slope yet. So what is the slope? Is the slope 2 over 1? Is it 3 over 2? Is it 5 over 7? You know, what is the slope? So you guys have done really good. You got 1, 2, and 3 mostly done. Donnell, are you there still? Not seeing 3 and 4 from you. Okay, and then the last one, number 5, once you get the slope in there, is to write the equation of the line. All right. And this is just where I see anytime you guys are taking those practice quizzes and on your test, it seems like people miss finding the equation of the line or matching the line with the equation. It just seems like you guys are really struggling with that. So this is where we're heading to. So good job, Skylar. You've got 1 through 4. Kiona has 1 through 4. Dustin, you got 1 through 3. Janae, 1 through 3. Tashana, you're working on it. You got 1 through 3 almost. So Dustin, that's good. You're getting another one going. And Ashley, you're on the last one. Perfect. Donnell. Okay, just do your best. It's okay if you don't know. It's just not okay if you don't try. So just make a little try. Donnell, you got to do 3, 4, and 5. Okay. All right. So remember, you guys, I love to see your effort. And your grade always is going to be related to your efforts. Okay. All right, so let's look at what you guys said for the y-intercept. So when I'm looking over here, I'm seeing -2 from pretty much everybody. And if I look at the graph, I see that, you know what, you guys are right on. You are dead on. That was a perfect job. In fact, right here is -2. So the way we would actually write that is we have to write it as a coordinate point because -2 could mean over here too, right? On the x-axis, but we're not over there, we're down here. So if we're going to write this as a coordinate, oh, actually, I just mean y equals mx plus b. Sorry, I just noticed your note. So the equation of the line, and I'll write it up here, is always, we're going to always use this form y equals mx plus b. That's our slope-intercept form, and so it's the easiest one to graph from and write. Okay. So anyway, to find the y-intercept, so we always do x first. Well, for x, we didn't go left and we didn't go right, so that's going to be a 0. And then for our y coordinate, you guys were right on and you said -2. So kind of get in the habit of, when you write your y-intercepts, writing it as a coordinate pair. But you guys did a great job of locating it, so perfect. But I noticed that on those quizzes, you could get a multiple choice where you have -2, 0, or you could have 0, -2. And so I just want to make sure you pick the right one. All right, so the x-intercept, what'd you guys say? So we got -6, -6, -6, -6, -6. So I think you guys are spot on with that again. It looks like that is a -6 right here. So if I were to write that as a coordinate point, I'm going to go left -6, so that's my x, right? And then my y is 0, so I would write it just like that. But good job, you guys picked up the x coordinate compared to the y coordinate, so excellent. Dustin, I see you're -6. I think you mean -6, 0 though, right? Dustin, instead of 2. I'm not sure what you mean by the 2. Dustin is typing. And Janae is typing. Good. And then Dustin, you stop typing. Okay, so anyway, yeah, I don't know what the 2 was from, but maybe you meant -6 comma 0. That's what I'm hoping you meant. Let's look at number 3. Write whether the graph has a negative or positive slope. So we've got a positive, a negative, a positive, a positive, positive. So we've got a lot of positives and one negative. So if I look, and Dustin, you said -2, so we've got actually a couple negatives. So you guys remember that when you read a graph, we read it from left to right, just like you're reading, I guess you would write the same way too, you're writing a book. So if I come at this graph from the left, I hit it up here, and here's you. Okay, you guys, this is you, and you're walking downhill. So this is a negative slope. Okay, you guys, so that's a negative sloping graph. Okay, and that's really important too, because in front of your slope, you would then need a negative number. All right, so all you guys that said positive, I hope, is there any questions about why it's negative? Kiana's typing me. Kiana must be typing. You're really lost right now. Are you lost just with why it's negative, the slope? Or what are you, tell me what you're lost about. And if anyone needs a microphone because they want to talk more, I can enable your microphone too. Oh, you kind of spaced out. That happens, Kiana, I know. So we just looked at them to write whether the graph has a negative or positive slope. So we looked at this first graph, and we always look at it from, okay, Skylar, that's fine. So you guys think about what we've done so far. A couple of you guys are a little bit lost. All we've done is we've found the y-intercept. So where this graph has intersected the y-axis, and that was here at 0, -2. Then we found where the graph intercepted the x-axis, so that would be up here at -6, 0. Okay, and then I just had you guys identify this line. Is this line a negative sloping line, or is it a positive sloping line? That was number 3. And we determined that when you look at a graph, you look at it from left to right, and this line is dropping down from left to right. Okay, so it had to be negative. Okay, so that's all we've looked at so far. So are there any questions on those 3 things? Okay, Dustin is no. So Dustin, you're in good shape. Good. Okay. So I know you guys probably have some questions about finding the slope and the equation, although Skylar, it looks like you have written in an equation, so that's good. We're going to check it out. Okay, so let's first find the slope. So the slope of this line is rise over run, right? We can find it by subtracting our y coordinates and putting that on top, and subtracting our x coordinates and putting that on the bottom, or we can just count. And I think I'm just going to count. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to count down, okay, until I get even with this other point. So I'm going to count down 1, 2, 2, actually just 2, right? And then I'm going to count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I counted down 2 spots, starting with this point, going to the next crosshair, that was 1, going to the next one, that was 2. Then I counted over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get there. So my slope, my m, and I'm going to reduce this, is always rise over run. So my up and down was 2, and my left and right was 6. If I reduce that, 2 goes into itself once, and 2 goes into 6 3 times. So my slope is actually 1 over 3. It looks like number 4, Skylar, you got it, you just didn't reduce. And Kiana, I'm assuming that that's what that 2, 6 is, you mean to be 2\6. And Janae, good. And so, Ashley, you got 4. Maybe we can talk about how you got 4 after if you want. And Donnell, you're still not participating. All right. So, is there any questions about, yeah, Dustin, so it is 1/3. But, you guys, let me ask you guys a question. Is it a negative 1/3 or is it positive 1/3? What do you think? Dustin, what do you think? Negative or positive? Negative is exactly right because we said that our slope, this line is negative sloping, so that has to be a negative slope. Okay, and our line goes down from left to right. All right, so we found the slope, and now we can write the equation of the line because we know both the y-intercept and we know the slope. So the equation of this line is going to be y equals, our slope is negative 1/3 x plus our y-intercept, which is negative 2, so we'll just put minus 2. So if I look at what you guys put, Skylar, you erased yours. Ashley has y equals, Ashley, you're just missing, I think, an x in there too. So it looks like you have your y-intercept, and then I don't know what the negative 6 comes from, Ashley, but you probably want to put your slope and your x in there. And then Dustin's typing too. So let's see how you guys are doing here. Just gonna see what you are typing. Okay. So any questions at all, guys? Any questions at all? So Ashley and Dustin are typing for me. Okay, so you guys are nope, nope. Okay, Ashley, it's okay. You know, this is good. This is why we're doing this so that you can learn. So I'm going to give you guys, we're going to do this last one, okay, and then we're going to be just about done with our webinar. So this is you guys' chance to redeem yourselves. So you're going to keep your numbers, or you can renumber 1 through 5 on your notepad. So go ahead and delete your, or you can hit enter, and you can go down lower. So go ahead and type a new 1 through 5 on your notepad. Good, Kiona, good. You already got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very nice. Janae, you're just deleting. That's fine too. Shoshana, Ashley. Dustin, you don't have too much to do, huh? You're in the chat. It's already cleared for you. So you are in good shape. All right, Skylar, are you starting your new 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Okay. So I'm going to scroll down on you guys' things just in case. Okay. So once you get your new 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which Skylar and Kiona have theirs, and Janae, I don't know if you're making a new one or just deleting. Shoshana, delete your old ones. Ashley, delete your old. We're going to start fresh. Okay, so I see you guys are all typing. So Ashley, what you're doing is you are creating a brand new 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in your notepad. And I see Donnell, yeah, because I was wondering where you were. So you want to have a blank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like although Kiona is already answering the questions, so nice job, Kiona. You are being very proactive. This is good. Okay, so you guys, we're going to look at graph number 2 now. We're going to do the same thing we did for graph number 1, but for graph number 2. So go ahead and fill in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 1 is again write what the y-intercept is, and this time you guys, when you're writing in your y-intercept, write it in as a coordinate pair like I did. See how I put the 0, -2? So go back and fix your y-intercept so that it's a coordinate pair. Okay, and do the same thing with your x-intercept. Fix it so that it's a coordinate pair. And then, so that's 1 and 2. And then for number 3, you're going to write, again, whether it has a negative or positive slope. And then you're going to find the slope. And then once you do that, you can write the equation of your line. So Skylar and Kiona are off to a very fast start. Shoshana, you need to erase those answers and start again. Ashley, good job. Donnell, now that you're back, if you can re-answer for graph number 2, that would be great. Dustin, I got your first one. Very nice. So I've got number 1 for you. So Kiona and Skylar, the only thing is make your x and y intercepts as a coordinate pair. Janae, that's very nice green. Okay, so Donnell is starting to type. Good. So Donnell, we're doing the second graph now. Okay. So you might need to go fix your number 1 and number 2. And Shoshana. Dustin, okay, good. So Dustin, I want you to think about your x-intercept and your y-intercept. You have the numbers, and both of those numbers are in the x place, right? You have 4 comma 0, and you have negative 8 comma 0. So should those both be in the x place? Ah, very nice. Okay, so everybody else, notice Dustin is writing his coordinate points as negative 8 comma 0, okay, or 0 comma negative 8. We're going to determine which one is correct. So all you guys in your number 1 and number 2, I'm not seeing it, but I want to see coordinate points. So you want to have a 0 in with your 4 or a 0 in with your negative 8. Okay, so it should look, if you look up in the chat, you can see what Donnell has done. Not Donnell, sorry Donnell. What Dustin has done. You guys will start with D's. All right. Okay, so just another couple seconds to finish up. It looks like Skylar and Kiona are about done. And I see that you guys put your coordinate points in number 4. Okay, good. And then, so also for number 4, though, you want to actually find the slope. So if you can find the slope, that would be awesome. And then number 5, so if you guys want to add more, that's fine too. And then so number 5, you want to do the equation of the line. Shauna, I'm not seeing anything from you out there. Hello, Shoshana. All right, Donnell, so Donnell, you can't say that you don't know. You always have to put something down, okay? You always got to put something down. Put what you think. Okay. All right, so it looks like most people, Ashley, IDK doesn't work either. That's what I told Donnell. If you know the y-intercept and you know the slope, then you know the equation of the line, right? Because if you look at the first graph, the negative 1/3 was the slope we came up with, and the negative 2 was our y-intercepts. Okay, so I want you guys to type something. All right, let's go over this. So Dustin, I got part of yours, and Skylar, I'm just not seeing a final equation, I don't think, from you. Let me see. Oh yeah, I am. Never mind. You're down below. I just didn't scroll down. And Kiona, you know what to do. You just did it. Very nice. And Janae, you're on 4. Okay. And Donnell, you need to at least try. Okay, so Donnell, you didn't do number 1 or number 2 for this graph either. All right, so you guys, looking at this graph, if we look at first our y-intercept is here, right here, right? And we know that that point, and I saw that Dustin did put it correctly in when you, sorry Skylar, I didn't know I was freezing. That sometimes happens with the internet for some reason. Anyway, but Dustin, you had it correct when you said it was 4 comma 0. Okay, so that's what I want to see from you guys, from your coordinate points. So all you guys that put 4, you have the right number, but remember we want it as a coordinate point, right, Kiona, just like that. Good. Okay, and then when we did our x-intercept, again, we're writing it as a coordinate point. This is -5, so 6, 7, 8. So we're over here at -8, comma 0. Okay, so that's how you would write your coordinate points. So Dustin, you had it right the first time when you did the -8, 0, and you just wanted to have switched your 4. Oops, sorry, I did the 4, 0 wrong. Guys, look, I am wrong. I must erase. You guys should have told me. Okay, so this should not be 4, 0. This should be 0, 4, right? Because we didn't go left or right, but we went up 4. So that should be 0, 4. And this one should be -8, 0. So, oops, running out of power. So see how easy it is, you guys, to mess up the coordinates and then choose the wrong multiple choice? That happens quite a bit. So if you get in the habit of always writing it with the coordinate points, you will do fine. All right, so our third one is write whether the graph has a negative or positive slope. And I'm getting, Skylar, you said negative. Kiona's positive. Janae's negative. Shauna, that's old. Ashley, negative. And then Donnell, I don't know if that's new or old. You're positive. And then Dustin said positive. So you guys, again, remember you are left to right, right? It's like you're reading a book. So if I hit this graph on the left, I'm down here at the bottom, right? So this guy has to walk uphill. So this is a positive sloping graph. Okay, uphill, so it's positive. And then the last part, write the equation of the line. Well, we already have our y-intercept. Oh, whoops, sorry, find the slope. Let's find the slope first. So our slope is, again, rise over run. I can go between these 2 points if I want, or I can find another point, like right here, that's right on the crosshairs. And it makes it easy to find the slope because on this case, I'm going to go down 1, right? That's just 1. And then I'm going to go over 1, 2. That way I don't have to reduce. So my slope, which is rise over run, which is 1 over 2. I could go between my intercepts, but then I would end up with a bigger number like 2/4 or 6/12 or something that I have to reduce into 1/2. So it's easier if you pick 2 points that are closer together. Okay, so now I can write the equation of the line. So the equation of this line is going to be y equals my slope, which is 1/2 x, plus my y-intercept, which we said was positive 4. Okay. All right, guys, any questions that you have on looking at graphs and coming up with equations? So, Skylar, it looks like your y-intercept just needs to be 4 on yours. Okay. Donnell, any questions? Ashley, any questions? Donnell, no? Okay. Ashley, how about you? Because you had an IDK on one of them. Skylar's no. Okay. All right, you guys, then let's finish this off. So what I want to do to finish off, remember I said we were going to go back into our discussion. We're not going to do this time, just in the essence of time. So we're going to do it next time. But what we're going to do is go back to the discussion from the start of the webinar. I think somebody has their microphone on. And then we're going to discuss. So, okay, so you guys go ahead and mute your microphones before I have to mute them for you, unless you want to talk to me. Someone want to talk? Let's find it. You can talk if you guys want. I'm totally good with that. You can have a chat. All right, so let's look at what Kiona said. A20 and D100. Okay, so I know because the 2, it's the lowest and the highest numbers. Okay, so Kiona, that's, I mean, obviously if you went between A and D, that would be, you would get the steepest part. But what we're trying to do is figure out between which 2 poles. So for example, between A and B, or between B and C, or between C and D is actually what we're trying to do. And so Skylar's same with you, right? Ashley, okay, so that's why you guys make sure you think about it on your own because everybody's going off of what Kiona said, but we're trying to go from one pole to another. Okay, so it says between which 2 poles is the cable's path the steepest. So if you think about going in order, you don't want to skip any poles. Okay, so Janae said it is 20 and 70. Okay, so you guys, what you want to do is between which 2 poles. So like between A and B, between B and C, or between C and D. So here's what I want you guys to do because everybody kind of went the A-D route that Kiona did. So in order to end and to be able to exit out, I want you to reply to your own, or actually to somebody else's would be better. So go ahead and reply to somebody else's and tell them what you think it is. It's not between A and D, right? It's going to be between A and B, or B and C, or C and D. So you guys go into your Schoology, go into the discussion, and go ahead and do that. Okay, so click on somebody's and hit reply and put between which two polls do you think it is. And you can't skip, so you can't say AD or BD. It has to be either between A and B, between B and C, or between C and D. So while you guys do that, I'm going to grab my charger. So you guys write that, and then I'll refresh the screen in about 2 minutes. So you have 2 minutes. Okay, so let me refresh the screen real quick and see what you guys did. All right, so Kiona said, I think between C and D. Good, because 100 minus 60 is 40, and 20 minus 40 is 20. So between these two, so you've got 20, you've got 40 here, and you've got, I guess I'm not sure, Kiona, what the 20, oh, because you were comparing 20 minus 40 is 20, okay. And okay, so, and D is bigger than A and B. Wait, okay, so you think CD is bigger than A and B is what you're, I guess is what you're saying. I'm thinking I'm following you. Okay, so I'm really glad, Kiona, that was a really good attempt. So Skylar said, I just finally realized that you're right because we had to use both poles and not one. So Skylar, which two poles do you think is the steepest? Okay, so really the only person then, you guys, that has gone back in and told me between which two poles has been Kiona. Okay, so what I want you guys to do, here's your homework assignment right now, okay, because I'm going to let you off, and then we're going to talk about this next time. I want to see I want you guys to see or do what Kiona did. I want you guys to respond to somebody. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go in and delete the ones like Kiona's original one. Okay, so I'm deleting it. And so Kiona has responded to Skylar, and so she has given her answer, and that's what I want to see. And I'll tell you guys the answer next time. Okay, but I want Donnell, Ashley, all you guys. So Donnell, I'm going to delete this one. So I'm going to delete a couple of them, but then I'm going to leave them in there for you guys to respond or make a new post. But what I want to see is what this is asking, right? It says, between which two poles is the cable's path the steepest, and how do you know? So your answer should be, for example, I think between poles A and B, and that's because, or whatever. Or I think it's between B and C because whatever. Or I think it's between C and D because whatever. So I need for you guys to go back in and say between which two poles and why. Okay, so that is what I'm going to have you guys do as your kind of your takeaway assignment from this. But I don't want to keep you on here, but that's what I want to see. So is everybody clear on what they need to do? So here's what I want you guys do. Raise your hand if you are clear. Go up to the little hand guy. Ah, very good. Skylar, Ashley, Dustin, Janae, Donnell, nice job. You guys all raised your hands. Kiona, you already did it though, so you're in good shape. So Tashana, you're the only one that did not raise your hand. So I'm going to come out there and talk with you. Oh. Kiona, did you get booted out or something? You must have. All right, you guys. So that's what we're going to do. When we end this webinar, I want you to go in here and I want you to type, okay? And I'm going to respond to you guys, and then we're going to look at this. So I'm making a note. We're going to look at this next week. So I want to see that you guys responded with something like what Kiona did up here. Use that as kind of an example. But don't necessarily copy her and say, I think between C and D, because she could be wrong, okay? So I want you guys to have your own. All right, you guys, and that actually concludes our webinar for today. So Skylar's typing. Anybody have anything they want to say? Oh, bye, Skylar. Anything else? Any comments, questions? Okay. So when I see you guys in the lab, I'm going to be making you go to week 11, and I'm going to I'm going to look at what you guys have written. So big responsibility here. All right, you guys. Thanks very much, and we'll see you later.